Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but market's closed today. I thought maybe it'd be a good day to kind of get caught up, and I may have to do this in two videos. We'll see. I don't want it to go too long because I know if you get a video too long, people kind of lose interest and don't watch the whole thing. So I may do a second one. We'll see. Um, what I wanted to go over was what my you know basically for one I trade the Strat. Uh, Rob Smith's system. It's called the Strat. If you're interested, look up Rob Smith on Twitter, at Rob in the Black. He has YouTube videos. All his content's free. The only thing he charges for is his room. If you want to be in his room with his 8 hours of being on the mic, pointing things out. Personally, I'm not in his room. I was before, but I tend to do better on my own. I seem to, when I hear people yelling out this stock, this stock, this stock, I tend to jump in and not really do my due diligence on it and don't know, when you jump in on somebody else's alert, you don't know what their reasoning is. You don't know why they got in it, why they're getting out, why they're going to get out of it, when they're going to get out of it. So I just do better on my own. But anyway, if you're interested, look up Rob Smith, Smith in the Black, or Rob in the Black. Another one is Cyberdog. I'll put the links down in the description. Another one is Sarah, Strat Sniper. I'll put her link. She has some good videos too. Most of the activities on Twitter. I guess there's some on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know what's on there. But basically, what the Strat is, you see the numbered candles. It's a system of trading on the numbered candles. And I know I've gone over this before, but just touch on it briefly here. Mainly what I look for is inside candles, inside setups. And we'll show you here real quick what an inside candle is and what it means. An inside candle is a 1. I look for breaks of the inside candles. I run a scan. Here's my scanner. I have several scans set up in here. Here's one that I run every week, every month, every day, sometimes every day, depending on what's going on. You can choose your selection here. This will be a monthly scan for inside bars on the month. Apple, looks like Apple was an inside month. So let's take a look at that. Go over to here. Drop that to month. It's an inside month. So what you'd be looking for here, what I would be looking for is a break above this 124.18 to go long, or a break below 122.49. So, and if you don't know how I did that so easily, snap those to the right, right on the price. If you go up to settings, you see where it's at here. I think it's over here in general. Right here, snap drawings to OHLC, open, high, low, close. Set it to OHLC, and all you have to do is get near, so it boldens the candle. Get near it and hit it, and you can see you can move it a little bit here. It'll snap it to the nearest level, the closest level to that. Now, if I come down here, you'll see it's gonna snap to here now. So snap it to here, snap it to here, and then I'll come in here and I'll do edit, and I'll put inside month up. I change that to white. Copy this, Control C, do the same thing here, but it would be inside month down here. Control V, down, change that one to white. And then for my targets, I would come down here and look at the weekly chart. So I'd have a target here, snap that, and I'll come in here and I'll put T1 inside month up, target 1. Target 2 would be this one. I'll do T2 inside month up, and so on. What I do then, you could do daily here. It depends on how long you're looking to stay in the trade. If you're looking to stay in for a couple of weeks, you probably want to do it daily. To do a weekly, there's only four weekly periods in a month, obviously, so you don't have as much. You know, this here we're actually at a previous month, so not that it still doesn't mean anything. It's still not effective, but I think a daily would probably be better to do this on. So in this case, zoom back in, I'd probably look at this one here as target one. Look at this here for target two. So that's probably what I would do on these. So with that being said, I do the scan. Go back to my scans. I'll do the scan for the month. I'll do it for the week. There's a weekly scan. And I have this set up over here, so it shows me what each time period is. These are still loading, but let's just assume these are both 2 green. I have 2 green all the way over to the weekly. Now it's inside week. And I try to be careful with inside week. Now I can sort by this, and I'm not showing a 2 on the week, but let's just assume that VIAC was 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 the whole way across, all green. I know that's very bullish. We have a 2 up. We'd have a 2 up on every single time frame, all the way up to the yearly chart. And if they're all green, that's extremely bullish. So if I get some kind of entry signal on say 60-minute, 30-minute, I'm going to want to get in that. Right here would be a good one, United Airlines. Now it's an inside week, but if you're only looking to scalp this 5, 10, maybe 30-minute trade, you could probably still get away with it on an inside week if it's a long enough of a range, big enough of a range on the weekly. Let's take a look at that. That was United Airlines. So let's go to here, because I have a weekly chart here. It's an inside week. Now, there's room up to highs 58, 55. We have room up to $60. So you have a $1.50 or so move here. That'd be enough to make a decent trade. So let's say you got a break on the 60-minute over here. Let's say this 222 right here. 2-2, you have 2 up, well, it's 2 down, 2 down, 2 up. So you have a reversal. This is actually a 2-2 reversal here, but you have a reversal right here. Once you break above this, that's your entry. So 57.67 is your entry. You technically have, your first target would be here, and then here, and then the high of day up here. So you'd have room. Doesn't mean you can't trade an inside week. They're just, you have to be more careful and pay closer attention to what the other time frames are showing you. So with that being said, let's take a look at. You can see this is a screenshot of my alert last week. You can see it on my Twitter. My Twitter handle is @optionizer_SS. I posted this last week. You can see I canceled these bottom ones here. So let's just cross these out. These are they're null and void. Either they were from a previous alert that I had set up, or whatever reason, I'm not sure what they were. TLT I canceled because it was so far away from, if I remember right, it was so far away from what my mark was that it probably would have suffered exhaustion risk by the time it got to my trigger. So let's take a look at DE. Now these, I'll tell you right up front, these weren't all winners. I already reviewed that on my Twitter. You can check it out. I've already went over it. I think 2 were pretty big winners. 2 could have been very nice winners. They didn't hit my target, but they could have been very nice winners. And 2 were losers, and the rest didn't trigger. So let's take a look. We'll start out with DE. I'm going to try to get through this kind of quick. So DE, I had a 2-2-2 up week. So here's my weekly. We had a 2 up, followed by a 2 down, followed by a 2 up. My entry was a break. Let me go over here so you can see it better. Go to the weekly chart. My entry was a break above the high of this previous week's candle. That would give me my 2-2-2 reversal. My first target, let's get down to the daily chart. My first target, and since the week started, the previous week's high was right here. These candles didn't exist when I created this list. None of these candles existed. So let's pull this over, and that's what we would have seen if we would have pulled up a daily chart last weekend. This was on 3/22, which was Thursday. That was Friday. So this was the high of the week right here. Let's look at that. That doesn't sound right, but I know it's right. So here's the high of the week right here. 3/22. I'm looking at April, that's why. Alright. Let's go back to April. Or March. So the 26th. So from the 26th up, anyway, this was the high, or, yeah, let's go back to the weekly. You can tell I'm a little bit rusty at this. 373.20 or 373.72 was the break of the previous week. 373.22. I don't know why it's not. Well, I know why it's not showing up because I scrolled over. So just pretend none of these candles here exist. Once we broke this high, which was on this day, my target one was right here at 379.84. You can see the high was 379.50. My target was 379.84. Didn't quite get there. However, you see we did have a $6 run from where my entry was marked. If you couldn't make money in that $6, then you probably shouldn't be trading. I understand there's some people that you have an 8-hour day job. You set your, you might get in, you set your target to sell at a certain point. It doesn't reach that point. By the end of the day, it's down here now. Back to your entry, you're probably negative now because of theta and time decay and whatnot. So you say, wait, well, I'm just going to wait and see if it goes back up. But what you need to do is set alerts. I probably would have looked at this here, the top of this body, and set an alert right before it. That would have been somewhere I would have probably, if I had 10 contracts, maybe I would have sold 5 or 6, maybe 7 right here. Just to be on the safe side so you can lock in some profit. And at that point, set a trailing stop. Maybe set a, depending on what you got in. If your contracts were $3 a piece, maybe set maybe a 30-cent trail stop so you have a 10% loss. And by this point, you're probably going to be up 100%. So if you lose 10% of that on a trail stop, big deal. But that's just a strategy you can use. So this wasn't a winner technically, but you could have won on this. And I'll show you a good example of that on CAT when we get to that. And I didn't trade this one. I looked at when the alert triggered, I didn't like the spreads on the options chain, so I didn't get in it. I wish I would have. Okay, Starbucks is the next one. Starbucks. Look at the weekly. Once you broke above the high of this candle, it's an entry. We'll go to the daily. My first target, now we're looking right here, was the high of the week. My first target was here, which isn't a big target. It was only 27 cents. Probably not worth it. In fact, what I probably would have done here is waited until it broke this, because it's so close here. You're going to get a little bit of resistance right here. So what you see we did. We broke it on this candle, so you would have entered here on the 29th. We came up to that first target, which was the high of this candle, and we stopped pretty much right there. That was the high. Then over here, in actuality, Um, you may have stopped out here. I'm going to guess, I'd have to look at a smaller time frame, but I'm going to guess, this candle opened right here. You're not in it yet as of this candle. This candle opens right here. I'm going to guess it probably came way down, came back up, which created a 2 down, came back up, broke above here, which created a 3 candle, came up just to that line, and pulled back and sold here. So you wouldn't have entered till it broke here, and then it pulled back to here. Depending on how tight your stops are, you may have stopped out of this one. Next day you open up here. I know a lot of times people say as soon as that candle turns red, they're going to stop. Some would have put a stop right here at the top of this. Some would say the 50% mark of this candle, which was roughly right here, they would have stopped out. Really depends. When I traded Cat this week, Caterpillar, I stopped out twice. Then I got back in the third time, and that's when it took off, and I still made money. Um, Rob calls that doing battle. Um, there's no problem with doing that. You just have to make sure your stops are tight enough so you can recover when you do have that win. So I think I lost $60 total on the first 2 stop outs, and then when it did pop, I made I think 140. So my net was $80 profit, and that was for an overnight trade, $80 per contract. Um, I only had one contract, so I didn't get rich off of it, but it's still a good trade. So it broke the target 1 right here. You see what I've opened here. If you didn't stop out, you're still in it. You came up, you broke that again. If you didn't get in here, you could have got in here. You could have got in right here, hit target 1. Next day it came up, it hit target 2 and broke target 2. It's only $1.46 range, so it's not a huge range, but it's still profit. Still would have been a good trade. The next one is Caterpillar. I traded that this week. Similar scenario. Look at the weekly. A break above here was an entry. We had a hammer candle and a 222 reversal. So here's my target 1. My break was above 229.84. Go back to the daily. Break above here. I got in. It popped up and pulled back. I stopped out for very small loss. I got back in a second time. It may have been over here. I don't recall now. I think it was all the same day. I think I stopped out twice. I think all 3 entries were on, I think, Tuesday. So, but I got back in here, stopped out a second time. I got back in the third time, and I sold. I think it was when it was right about here, the top of this body. I think is about when I got out. It didn't quite hit my target, but still, 237 from a 229 entry. You're still looking at $8 move. If you couldn't have made money on an $8 move, you might not want to be trading. So, again, didn't hit the target, but it was definitely a good trade. United Airlines, we just had that chart up, I believe. United Airlines, same thing. This one, a break above here, it didn't trigger, so this doesn't count. This would be a good candidate for an inside week. I'd look for a break above the high of this candle, which is 58.55. You can see that over here, 58.55 when I hover over it. A break above 58.55 would probably be a good entry, and look for a target probably up around the $60 area. Take a look at the daily chart. Inside week, 58.55 is right here. Yeah, my first target would probably be right here. We may have, no, there's no gap. If there was, it was already filled right here. So that would be my target for that one. Next one is JP Morgan, and I can't drag my screen down. I have 4 monitors, so moving stuff around as we go. Weekly chart, a break above 155.45 with target 1 of 157.11. This one did trigger, but it didn't pan out. Popped right above it and fell back down. If anybody's familiar with Steve Nissen, if anybody's watched Steve Nissen's videos or followed any of his training, he's like the king of American, I shouldn't say American, Japanese candlesticks in America. Um, he's kind of the guru. Not to take anything away from Rob, because Rob, in my opinion, Rob took what Steve Nissen brought to the United States, and Rob simplified it by numbering it and making it much easier to understand. Um, there's more to what Rob has done, but that's kind of, when I compare Steve and Rob, that's kind of how I look at that. Um, but what Steve calls this a crack and snap. Um, it pops right above a resistance point or right below a support level, and then pops back the other way. He calls it a crack and snap. Um, that's what this was. It popped right above we'll call it a resistance level. I know we don't, in the Strat, we don't use support and resistance, but let's call this a resistance level. It popped above it and cracked right back down. So Steve would call this a crack and snap. So that one failed. The next one on the list is Boeing. Boeing, we had on the weekly chart a break above 257.67. Go to the daily chart. We did break above it right here, which was yesterday. Actually, we broke above it here also on Wednesday. Broke above it. Kind of another crack and snap. It did pop right above it, and then it came down, and you see it created a 2 down. So another crack and snap there. That one failed. The next one is IWM. If I remember right, IWM did not trigger. Yeah, IWM was right here. Break above this. This is the daily chart. If we go to the weekly, IWM never triggered, so that was null and void. QQQ, a break above this candle. Target was, if we go to the daily chart, first target was here. We did that. We actually gapped above it. This would have been a tough one to enter. It would have paid out well if you did get in, but it would have been tough to enter because it gapped above it. Ideally, I would have liked to have seen a pull back down to here to enter. You're up here, you're kind of in no man's land. You're kind of in between. You're in between your target and in between your entry. You're kind of in the middle. What do you do? This one, I didn't enter. I don't remember watching the alert. I do have a full-time job, so I can't watch charts 8 hours a day. I don't remember if I even saw this one. I can't recall. I'm sure I saw the alert, but I didn't enter it. The next one on the list that I didn't cancel out would have been MA. I think that's MasterCard inside week up. Come on. MA inside week up. We look at the weekly chart. A break above here didn't trigger, so no good on that one. Nothing to do. Yum was another one. Yum was an inside week up also. See there, break above 108.06. There's your one. That's your inside week, 108. I don't know why it says 108.98 here, but over here I have 108.06 for the alert. I'm not sure what happened there. Why my alert's so far? Oh, that's the current. Okay. My alert, my trigger was 108.98. Okay. So we did break above the trigger, which triggered your entry. Come back to the daily chart. Target 1 was, you remember we didn't have any of these candles, so we were looking for a break above this. Target 1 was this. Target 2 was up here. Target 3 was up here. We did hit target 1. Actually went up to, I have what's called dynamic hiding pivots. They were given to me by somebody, another trader. I don't know who created them, but they're dynamic hiding pivots. You can see, if you look at let's look at a 30-minute chart, you can see them right here. And they're fairly accurate. I know, Rob doesn't like using pivots. A lot of straters don't like using pivots, but they are pretty accurate, these ones at least. So I do keep them on there. I know when I'm getting up to here, let's just say I have let's just say I have a target right here. This is my target. I know when I'm getting close to this, I'm probably going to get out before we hit this, just because I know that these are effective. So I couldn't even tell you what they're based off of, where these are derived from. Um, like I said, they were given to me. I tested them out a few years ago, and they were pretty accurate, so I stuck with it. So that was all my alerts for last week. I'm going to cut this video off. I'll create another one because I created a watch list for this coming week and for the month of April. I'll go ahead and do another video right now, but I don't want to have a 40-minute video, so I'll cut this one off and create a new video with the current weeks, the one I just ran last night. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll get those links for Jermaine and Sarah and Rob all in the description below. Thanks for watching. Bye.